It was the kind of bitter winter night that made even the streetlights flicker like they were shivering. The wind howled like a wounded animal, rattling the broken windows of a rundown apartment complex on the edge of the city. Inside apartment 3B, Daniel, a worn-out single father in his early 30s, tucked his 5-year-old son, Max, into bed. The boy's blanket was thin and patched with old cloth scraps. Daniel knew it wasn't warm enough, but it was all he had. Max looked up at his father with tired eyes and asked, "Will the heater work tomorrow, Daddy?" Daniel forced a smile, the kind that hid truth. "I think so, buddy. We just have to give it one more day." Daniel worked long hours at a small auto repair shop. His wife, Sarah, had passed away 3 years ago after a long battle with cancer, and life hadn't been the same since. Every day was a struggle, between paying rent, putting food on the table, and giving Max a chance at a normal childhood. But Daniel never complained. He loved his son more than life itself. That night, as snow began to fall and silence crept through the streets, a knock echoed on the apartment door. Daniel paused. No one ever visited this late, especially in a neighborhood like theirs. He opened the door cautiously and found a young woman, barely in her 20s, shivering in the cold. Her coat was soaked, her cheeks red from the wind, and her eyes full of fear. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "I missed my bus, my phone is dead, and I've lost my wallet. Can I just stay here tonight? Just until morning?" Daniel looked past her into the darkness. She was alone. Everything in him told him to be careful, he had a child to protect. But then again, something in her eyes reminded him of Sarah. Of desperation. Of dignity clinging to its last thread. He hesitated for only a moment, then stepped aside. "You can sleep on the couch. I'll get you a blanket." Her name was Lily. As she sat curled on the couch, sipping the warm tea Daniel had offered, she looked around the apartment. It was small, with peeling walls and second-hand furniture, but it felt strangely warm. Not from heat, but from care. Max, in his sleepy voice, had smiled at her and said, "You look like a snow princess." She chuckled, brushing snowflakes from her hair. "And you, little sir, look like a brave knight." They laughed, and for a moment, the world outside melted away. Lily didn't say much that night, only that she'd been visiting someone across town and got separated from her driver. Her eyes hinted at a deeper story, but Daniel didn't pry. He had learned long ago that some stories only come out when hearts feel safe. The next morning, Daniel made a simple breakfast: eggs, toast, and a shared orange, cut in slices. Lily ate slowly, as if savoring more than just the food. Before leaving, she turned to Daniel and said, "Thank you, for trusting me." Not many would. Daniel shrugged. Everyone needs a little help sometimes. She smiled, her eyes glassy. Yes, they do. And then she was gone. Daniel thought he'd never see her again. But 3 days later, everything changed. He returned home from work to find a black car parked outside the apartment. 2 well-dressed men stood by the building entrance. Inside his apartment, Lily was waiting, this time, not in soaked clothes, but in a tailored coat, a silk scarf, and polished boots. Daniel froze. "What's going on?" Lily stood up, holding Max's hand. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you the truth. I'm not just some lost girl. My name is Lily Harrington. My father is Victor Harrington, the owner of Harrington Holdings." Daniel blinked. Everyone knew that name. Harrington was one of the richest men in the country. Lily continued, "We had a fight that day. He wanted me to marry someone for business, not love. I stormed off, thinking I could handle the world. But I got lost, and then I found you. Or maybe, I needed to." She stepped closer. "I saw something in this home that I hadn't seen in my world in years, kindness, love, and dignity. You could have turned me away. You didn't. And now, I want to help." Daniel looked stunned. "Help?" Lily nodded. "I've spoken to my father. I told him about you, your honesty, how you're raising Max alone, working hard every day. He was moved. He wants to offer you a better job. At one of his auto subsidiaries. Manager position. Full benefits. A home. A real future." Daniel's eyes welled. "Why would you do this for me?" She smiled softly. "Because sometimes, the richest people are the ones with the least money. And sometimes, we need to be reminded what real wealth looks like." He looked down at Max, who was playing with a toy car Lily had gifted him. The same Max who hadn't stopped talking about the Snow Princess all week. Daniel swallowed his pride, then nodded. "Okay, but only if I can earn it. I don't want pity." Lily smiled. "That's exactly why you deserve it." 6 months later. Daniel stood outside a newly built suburban home, his home. Max ran across the green yard, laughing. The heater inside worked, the fridge was full, and for the first time in years, Daniel didn't feel tired, he felt alive. Lily still visited often. Her relationship with her father had improved. She wasn't just a guest anymore, she had become part of their small, unexpected family. Sometimes, one night of kindness changes everything. And sometimes, the stranger you help becomes the blessing you never saw coming. Moral of the story. One act of kindness can create a ripple that changes lives. Never underestimate the power of compassion, because what you give in hardship may one day return to you multiplied.